So the whole purpose of these calls, ladies and gentlemen, is just to give you a different look of when it comes to the market. I know some of you lot may be different when it comes to learning. Some of you lot are faster than others when it comes to learning. I was once at that stage, same as you. I had no previous knowledge, didn't know nothing at all. And I just wanted someone to just to take the time and effort just to teach me in a different way to maybe how things are, how I'm being taught. You lot are in a much better position to where I was because the type of education that you lot have today is ridiculous. It's second to best. You have softwares, you have systems that simply trade for you. All you have to do is copy and paste the numbers. You also get signals from educators that are making six, seven figures from this industry, and all you're doing is copying the same trades as them. You are in a much better position than I was. I had a blank screen, make it work, and a man telling me slowly what to do. You know? So you are in a much better position than me. The only thing I would say is stick it out. Really, really stick it out. Don't get discouraged when you see other people's profits. Let it encourage you. Because a wise man once taught me the only difference between me and you when it comes to making the amount of money we make is the lot sizes. We take the same buys, we take the same entries. Some of us got bigger lot sizes. That's the only thing. So when you have that in the thought of your mind, thinking, oh, right, I'm taking the same trades as Mr. Bonds, or I'm taking the same trades as, I don't know, Rio, or I'm taking the same trades or whoever it is. Just remember, all right, cool. They're just using bigger lot sizes than me. I have to make sure I just have my capital high enough so I can use the same lot sizes as them. Yeah? We good. Let me know if we're all good so we can move on. So we can move on, drop a one. So I know we're all good. How many we got? We speak and it comes to existence. We got 30 people, family. Give me 31. So I know we're good. So I know we're good. So we can move on. And also, I know I'm absolutely gorgeous, but can we get a camera on, please, family? Can we get some cameras on, please? Please, can we get some cameras on? Like, I don't like looking at see beautiful women right there putting their cameras on. Hey, any guys out here? Don't let the females put you to shame. I don't swing that way, but man, them, let me see some faces. Females, more feet. Come on, more faces, family. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I'm not gonna judge. Right now, you can see I'm in gym wear, do rag. Judge, shout out Georgia. Shout out you, bro. Putting your camera on. But anyways, I can really tell who makes money in here. They ain't shy to put their camera on. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Today's topic, family. I want you to have this written down. I want you to have this written down. Today's topic today, we're going to be going over structure. I know some of you lot are new, some of you lot are not new, but I feel like we really need to touch up on structure. Reason being, sometimes a lot of us can get lost when it comes to looking at the markets. And I know how it can be is when you're in a trade, or for example, you've taken a trade, it doesn't go your way. You think, all right, cool, it's going the opposite way, and then you try trade the opposite way, and it still doesn't go your way. Now you're lost. You don't know where to position yourself. So today's topic is simply going to be on structure. I'm also going to be breaking down last week trade idea that I did send out to the team, and it's going to be going over why, first of all, I called out this trade, and second of all, why this trade still played out, but maybe our entry was just a bit wrong. Yeah, but structure is the topic today, so don't forget about it. Um, what we're gonna do, I want to keep this there for now, but I'm gonna go to a new clear clear page. So Euro USD family, Euro USD, yeah. And a great question that was asked last week for some that was on the call last week. I got a question thinking, well, I got a question, and the question was, what time frames do you look at when it comes to structure? Yeah. What time frames it is when it comes to looking at structure? So I'm gonna ask all of you lot, as well as my newbies, when it comes to looking at time frames, what time frames do you lot look at? Anyone? What time frames do you lot look at? Put it in the chat box. Don't be shy. When it comes to time frames, when you're looking at the charts, what time frame do we all look at, family? 1 and 5. What we got? What we got? What we got? Let's see who we got. We got one of iPhone. Please, can you change the name? 5 and 1. I go down 4 hours 15 5. Okay. 4 1 and 5. Okay. 1 15 daily. 15 5 1 and 30. 15 upwards. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. We have some good answers. So What I personally do, and what I would recommend, and what I've been taught, is you look at every single time frame. Okay. Yeah. When I say every single time frame, go back to USD. When I say look at every single time frame, reason being, yeah. If I let's start off on the weekly when it comes to Euro USD. Oh my days, I need to no, this is this one. This the blank one. Euro USD. No, no, oh, it is. I can delete this then. So when it comes to looking at USD, what I personally do every single start of the week, without doubt, yeah, start off on the weekly. And I want to center, move that out of the way, move that to the top. And I want to center my screen. Reason being, every week is different to the week prior before. Yeah. The only time frame I repeat, the only time frames that I will not zoom out too much to get a bigger picture is only the daily and the weekly. Yeah. And I'm gonna break down why. Because when it comes to looking at the weekly, me personally, I am not a scalper. I'm an intraday trader, meaning I like to be in the trade on the day and be out on the same day, ideally. That does not mean some days I may hold a trade an extra day or extra two. But however, my personal way of trading, I want to be in on Tuesday and I want to be out by Tuesday. Very, very simple. So when it comes to looking at the markets, weekly, I don't really look at the monthly too much, only if we're at the start of the month. So, for example, yesterday, April the 1st, I just want to see how did we overall close for the month. Yeah. And overall, for the month, we had a selling candle. So basically telling me for the majority of the month, we were selling. I'm not going to go too much into that because today is all about structure. But when it comes to weekly and daily, I will just zoom in. I just want to see exactly how did we finish off previously the week. So last week, no, the week before, selling off. The week prior before, a lot of buying momentum. The week prior before that, selling momentum. Yeah. Then we drop down to the daily. Now, when it comes to the daily, I'll zoom out slightly, not too much. Why? Because I'm an intraday trader. Those that said from 4 hours upwards, you want to be looking at the daily, you want to be looking at the weekly on a bigger aspect of things. For those that dropped to 1 minute and 5 minute, you're never going to be looking at really these time frames for too long. However, what I want you to understand is the structure and the positions where you want to be putting yourself when it comes to the market. So especially the daily, looking at the daily, yeah. For those that are on this call, looking at the daily when it comes to Euro USD, would you say we are bullish or bearish on Euro USD? There's how many of us? 31. Bullish, meaning we're in a buying momentum, we're going up. Bearish, we're in a selling momentum, we're going down. Where would you say we are, family? What we got? What we got? What we got? Bearish, bearish, bearish. No, no one thinks bullish. No one. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. In this game, the best way to get it wrong, well, the way to get it wrong, sadly, it does cost a bit of money, but the best way to learn things in this industry is to get it wrong. Right, cool. So yeah, bearish. Simply being, we are bearish. Yeah. Now, if you don't know why we're bearish, do not worry, I'm gonna break it down. So after understanding, ideally, where we are going when it comes to the market on the daily aspect of things, I know we're bearish. So on the bigger picture, on the daily time frame, we are bearish. So I start breaking it down. The only time frame I won't really look at was the 4 hour, because the 8 hour, because the 4 hour for me personally is the same thing. But now this is where I start to zoom out slightly. So now when it comes to Euro USD, yeah, this was the trade idea. Last week Thursday. What was the date last week Thursday? I know where it was. I know where it is anyways. So if I move that, playback tool, start new. Um, Famous hero. Boom. Yeah. So now we know we're bearish, but on the 4 hour side of things, yeah, at this current moment of time, price is doing what? It's still correlating with a higher time frame structure. Yeah. So when I say it's correlating, all we can see right now at this moment of time, and when it comes to structure, some of us could be lost when we're thinking, oh, let me start from the top. So as we know, in a bearish market, this is how the market moves. Yeah. In a bearish market, that is how the market moves. In a bullish market, we have the same exact thing in the opposite direction. Yeah. A key thing. I was looking at my notes today. A key thing I want you lot to write down if you're taking notes is the white candles red and the black candles blue. No. So on my screen, white candles are blue, red candles are black. Yeah. So when it comes to understanding where you are and what structure you're in, family, a key thing I want you to write down. If you are in a bullish market, I repeat, my laptop's going to die. If you are in a bullish market, ladies and gentlemen, what do you want to be looking for? If you are in a bullish market, what do you want to be looking for? Sells, sells, buys. It's not. That's not the exact word I want to be looking for. But you are right. You are right. I'm talking about structure. So imagine now. You're right in saying if you're in a bullish market, I want to be looking for buyers and buyers only. Perfect. You've been taught very, very well. But I want to talk about structure. Wait, listen. Higher highs. Miss, that's the exact answer I want. If you're in a bullish market, you want to be constantly looking for higher highs. So now, if I'm in a bearish market, what do I want to be looking for? What does that mean? No, I got you, bro. I got you. Lower lows. She's on it. She's on it. All right, cool. Now, answer to your question, Amari. I hope I've pronounced your name right, my bro. Now, when it comes to understanding, well, your question was, what does that mean? So, in this market, we've obviously understood we are in a bearish market. We understood that from the daily. We've understood it now going to the 4 hour. Now, where we're in the 4 hour, we can kind of see structure much more clearer. You have your low that imprinted a high. You then have your move to the downside that created a new lower low, which then the market rallied up slightly. The market rallied up slightly, making a new, I'm not going to do that, making a new higher, a new lower high. After this, the market moved down. Oh, I got to call him back in a second. I'll call you back in a second, my bro. No worries. You're not going to see me. Cool. After that, you have the market moving to the downside, creating a new lower low. Yes? Are we with me? Especially the one that asked the question, Mario. You with me so far? Couple ones, I know you're with me, bro. Yes. All right, cool. Now, from when the market made a new lower low, what did the market do after? Came back up so slightly, made a high, a new lower high to then make a new lower low. So when we know we're in a selling bearish market because we're constantly making new lower lows. Yeah, that's to understand where you are when it comes to, all right, cool. I know where to position myself. Reason being, we're constantly making new lower lows. That's one thing I really want you to pay attention to. Sometimes, like this example, when price came down and came up here, you see why I had these two equal highs here? Sometimes it may confuse you because you could look at it and think, all right, cool, but I made a new lower high here. but we didn't dive deeper and we made another high here. All I'm paying attention to is the price going to go lower like it did here? Yes. So I know I'm still in a bearish market until price makes new highs and higher highs. I'm still in a bearish market. Does that make sense before I move on? Drop a one so I know we're all good. If it doesn't make sense, just drop a two. If it does make sense, cool ones. If it doesn't, drop a two. Because there's kind of a bit I need to go over just to make everything make sense. All right, cool. So we understand if I'm in a bearish market, I'm making new lower lows. If I'm in a bullish market, we're making new higher highs. Yeah, we understand that aspect of things. Yeah, cool. Now, because I'm on a 4 hour, this is going to be a bit annoying. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this. Delete this. I'll just delete all of it after. Um, Let me delete that. I'll delete that. I'll come back to this after, and I'll delete that for now. Delete that for now. Would you use the same type of thinking on 1 minute? 100%. I don't personally trade 1 minute, but that is a great question. But cool. Yeah, we're gonna delete this one. It's just easier. Cool. Now, this is where the price was. At this current moment in time, this is what price was. We've drawn out our new lower lows. As you see, low, 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 low. Price is constantly going lower. Cool. Now, this was your first indication. And I repeat, I want you lot to really pay attention to this. I know I'm on the 4 hour, but I'm going to go down to smaller time frames and it will all make sense. But I want you to pay attention to this. From when price went lower, we went low again. Ideally, family, for price, if it respects this high on a 4 hour, yeah, so this high right here, as you can see with this blue line, if price goes higher than this, we are changing structure. However, if we respect this high and go lower, we are constantly still in our bearish market. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play this out so you lot can see what happened. We're on a 5, play it out. Price went lower. Then what happened? She confused everyone for a bit. That's not the higher one? Is it on the 1 hour? Oh, it's on the 1 hour. Apologies, family. It's on the 1 hour. This is the one I wanted. So keep that same idea, yeah? This is the one I wanted. So on the 1 hour, cool. You have low, you have high. You have low, you have high. You have low, you have high. You have low, that has a high. You have another low that made a new high. Yeah? Now, what happened here? Price failed to go what? Lower. But what did price do after? This high here. So let me remove this so you lot don't get too confused. Yeah. And this is another thing I want you lot to pay attention to. This was our last high that created our new low. I repeat, this was our last lower high that created our new lower low. So price should not break this high. If we are constantly going down, if we are constantly going down, and if price wants to respect our structure of being bearish, we are not going to go higher than this high here. Price is going to go what? Lower. You see price had a little push up, started to go down. People thinking, yep, we're going lower, we're going lower, we're going lower. Boom. That was your first sign on a 1 hour. Hold on a second. We're breaking structure. How would you know simply you know we're breaking structure change price is going in a different direction because you have taken out the previous high that created your low. Remember when it comes to lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, yeah? I want you lot to look at it like this. We're in a bearish market, all our lows are weak. They're weak lows. Reason being, it has to break down to go lower. It's breaking down to go lower. It's breaking down to go lower. And our highs are strong because if your high is strong, price is not going to break the high, but break the low. Does that make sense? Before I move on, does that make sense first? Because I really want to drill in this structure thing because a lot of people do get lost in it. There's 29 of us. Yeah? That makes sense. All right, cool. That makes sense. So now, as we know that side of things, yeah, go back to this. Did that pause? Why is that playing? My laptop bugging. Um, delete that. Delete that. If you're thinking why I'm doing all this clickety click, I broke my mouse out of frustration. So, um, repeat it again, please. No worries. So, in a selling market, yeah, in a selling market, right? Draw this out. If you got to draw this out, draw it out. My drawing is not the best, but draw it out. If you're in a bearish market, I repeat, you are constantly breaking lows because your lows are weak lows. That's the main thing you want to be paying attention to, your lows. Can I identify my lows? Can I identify it's going lower? Can I identify that? The highs, they're not, no, I'm not saying they're not as important, but they're not as important as the lows. Yeah? Are we breaking? Are we breaking? And my highs are gonna be respected because price is not gonna go higher than the previous high. It's gonna go lower. It's gonna go lower. My first indication, my first sign is of a change in structure is from when we break the high that first created the new low. So this low here was created by this high. So price should not go what? Higher than this high. If it does, that's a what? Like Silver said, break of structure. That is my first indication of a break of structure. From when, as you see after this, price rallied up to the upside. Yeah. Now buyers are in control because we've broken this high. We're higher than this high, and we're somewhat looking to target this high now. But that's don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just look at have we broken the previous high? Yes, we have. Yeah. Now, as I said, in a bullish market, you're constantly making newer highs. So in a bullish market like this, my screen's lagging. I think someone trying to call me. Is that why my screen's lagging? All right, cool. In a bullish market, family, why is my laptop lagging? Boom, you're making new highs. Yeah, you're constantly making new highs. Don't forget that. Yeah. So in a bullish market, your highs are weak and your lows are strong because we are not going lower than the previous low. Yeah. So if you gotta write that down for it to fully make sense for you, do what you gotta do. Put that in your brain. Do not forget that, please. Because I know something so basic as structure, people like to look over it. People don't like to study it too much. But I'm telling you now, if you understood structure, you would win majority more of your trades, and you wouldn't rush to get in a lot of trades. Yeah. So cool. Now on a 1 hour, we can tell we have broken structure, but this is on a 1 hour. Yeah. So now go down into a smaller time frame. Go into a half an hour. What can I see? Them 1 hour highs and 1 hour lows that I was drawing out, they look a bit clearer now. They don't look as much squeezed. Because, for example, if I go to 1 hour, you see it slightly, But if I go to the 4 hour, you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see that at all. So breaking it down into smaller time frames, you understand kind of the roadmap to my destination much clearer. Yeah. So now I'm on a half an hour. What can I see? On a half an hour, I can see my highs and lows much clearer. My previous low, my previous high here, which created my new low, got taken out here. Yeah, got taken out here. Now, what has happened after that? After that, what happened? This low created this high. Let me change this blue. Anything I'll never know. Kiss and fun above. What? Every time I record on my laptop, I don't know why it's doing this. Can you not see my screen? You not can hear me? Yes, you can. It's my internet. All right, cool. Blue. Let's go. We're gonna go dark blue. So now, from when we create our new low here, that then broke structure and create our new high. For you to then be like, all right, cool, let me not jump the gun and think, oh, because Aaron said if it breaks the previous high, if it breaks the previous low, it's change of structure. No. Yes, we have broken the high, but what would be my clear sign to understand, all right, cool, I'm in a bullish market? This is the only, I know this might confuse some of you, but this is something I got taught, and I want this for you to sink it into your brain. Yeah, cool. For me to understand now I'm in a bullish market, I'm looking for one thing and one thing only. Some of you may be thinking, all right, cool. What Aaron's looking for is the new low to create the new high. You're halfway there. The only thing I'm looking out for, the only thing I'm looking out for is price going to go higher? That's it. So write it down on your notes. Whenever I see a break of structure within the market, in this example, from being a bearish market to now bullish, what am I looking for? I'm looking for first my change of structure, my BOS, my break of structure. But the only thing I'm looking for after that is price gonna go higher than it previously went before. Yes, that is my indication. All right, cool. We're not only broke structure, we haven't only just broken structure, we have changed character. When I mean change character, it's just another trading terminology of, all right, cool, we broken structure and now we've changed character from now being a bearish market, now we're going to a bullish market. Does that make sense before I move on, family? Does that make sense? One, we're all good. Two, if that makes no sense at all. There's 30 of us. Please, let me get 31s. If it doesn't make sense, don't feel any type of way, because these are the times where it doesn't cost money to learn. What do you mean by new higher high? See, I love that. So cool. You see my red ones, my red, my pink, whatever it looks like on your screen. I'm colorblind, so for me it looks pink. But where you see low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, yeah, this lower high was our last lower high that made our new lower low. You lot can see my mouse, yeah? If price was gonna go lower, we would have broken this low. However, price tried to go lower, but then ultimately went higher here. This move here, we went higher here. That was my first break of structure, my BOS. This was our first clue of, okay, from being a bearish market, we could now be a potentially bullish market. My second strong confirmation that made me think, all right, cool, now we're changing structure. We're in a bullish market on an hour or half an hour. Yeah. Did we go higher than the previous high that was created here? Yes, we did. Because you can see it go higher here. The market went high. We had somewhat of a push down. and then we went higher again. That was my indication. All right, cool. Now we're in a bullish market. Now I want to be looking to position myself when it comes to potentially looking for buys. Yeah? Does that make sense? Jojo, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Is it Jojo ask the question? Um, Amari, hopefully that makes sense, bro. Hopefully that makes sense. Samson, change your name from Samson to your name and then ask the question by all means. Maybe say it one more time. Hopefully me say got you. Can someone write the points on the chat, please? Because I'm trying to take note and I'm falling behind. N- I'll take my time. You're gonna get the recording. Don't worry, Jojo. You'll get the recording. So, yeah. Can you explain? You're jumping the gun, bro. You're jumping the gun. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. But today's all about structure. I just want to imprint and push in structure into you lot, yeah? So now when price made a new higher high, what would I be looking for? Is my entries. Obviously, I'm not gonna go too much on entries today, so I'm just gonna fast forward this now. I'm not gonna go too much on entries today, but I just wanna first of all pull this back here and show you lot what happened. So go back here, start new, and we're gonna stop it here. Yeah, just to show you lot. So what happened, family? And I'm gonna explain to you why I only look for the new high. Yeah, really listen to this bit. Like I said, from me really understanding if I'm in a bullish market, from or change of direction of where we previously was going. So in this example, from being a bearish market, we potentially could start being in a bullish market. Like I said to you lot, the key thing I want to be paying attention to is, are we making a new high? That's all I'm looking for. From when this price made this new high and broke structure, we dipped lower. Are we gonna go higher? Yes, we did. Yeah. Now I want to be position myself for potential buys. Now, this is where it can confuse you lot sometimes because you could be thinking, all right, cool. Oh, what Aaron said, if we're in a bullish market, if it goes up, then it's going to respect the low. It's going to constantly go up. It's going to make new higher highs. It's going to make new higher highs. You are right. But like I said at the start of the call, family, you're in an industry where the majority of people lose. Some people say because of greed. Some people say other things, whatever. There's multiple things why. But in this example, structure would be the reason why you lost this trade. Let me show you. So if I go down onto a smaller time frame, 15 minutes, so you can see a bit clearer. Yeah. So them same points that I marked out on a half an hour and a 1 hour, you can see them a bit clearer now on a 15 minute. Now, when price started to do this, dip lower, yeah. What did we take out here, family? Let me mark out this. What did we take out here? If you don't know, don't worry. If you have some type of a feeling, type it. But what did we take out here, family? This push down. What did we take out here, family? Structure's not. It's not. That's not the. That's not the. Someone got it. Someone got it. Someone got it. You nearly got it. You just went a bit break structure. It went lower than before. All right, cool. iPhone, please, please, iPhone, change your name. Like, change your name. So one person got it, it broke, and the one person who got it, it took out a higher low. As you know, when it comes to trading, when it comes to structure on the bullish market, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You get the drift. Yeah, you get the drift. So in this example, yeah, you see price go what? Lower than the higher low. Yeah. So some of us, and you're not wrong to be thinking it, because the majority of people thought it. Oh, yeah, it went lower. So I'm just looking for now. It didn't respect the higher low, so it's changed the structure. Some people are thinking, oh yeah, this is a breaker structure now. I'm looking to, looking for sales now. Because like what Aaron said, I'm looking for sales now. Cool. You didn't understand the bigger picture. And this is why I say multiple time frames. Multiple time frames are very, very key. From the start of the call, we broke down exactly what ideally we want to be looking for on a daily. We understand we're in a bearish market. But as we broke it down slowly into smaller time frames, you started to realize, all right, cool. On the 1 hour at this moment of time, yeah. If I go back to the 1 hour, at this moment of time on the 1 hour, we are showing signs of being potentially what? Bullish. Yeah. Stick with me. So if I go down to the 15-minute, just to see what I can see, yeah, on the 15-minute, you had your breaker structure that made this high. You had this pullback that then made a new higher high. Then out of nowhere, the market then moves to the downside, whence goes lower than our previous lower high. Yeah. So some of you could be thinking that's a breaker structure. But what happened straight after? Did we go lower or did we go higher, family? That wasn't really a question, but it kind of was a question. But yeah, we went higher. As you can see, from when we went previously lower than this low here, we went higher. Don't ask me the full ins and outs why. That's something called manipulation. Like I said from the start of the call, you're in an industry where majority of people do not win. Majority of people lose. Majority of people lose because they get confused. Majority of people lose because of greed. There's so many other things. But in this example, you would have lost because you got confused on structure. You got confused on structure. My clear indication to understand if you're in a change of structure, in a bullish aspect, well, bullish aspect, on a bullish look on things, did we go higher than the previous high? So if this was on a side down, or if it was a different market where you were going bullish to now bearish, what you would pay attention to is, are we making another lower low? But on this example, we made a new high. So I know I only want to be positioning myself for potential buys. Price went lower, confused people, but then rallied to the upside. So I know now, if I fast forward exactly where we went to, I know my positioning of where I want to be looking for potential buys was right. Because from when we took out this low here, price did what, family? She went up 170 pips. If you was being able to capitalize on that and position yourself, you could have caught that trade. Yeah. After that, what happened again? Price went to the downside before doing what? Going back up again. So you might have missed this potential entry here. You might have missed that entry, but on this pullback, you could have caught a buy. Went up, happy days. Trades like this, you don't have to trade every single day. You don't have to catch trades every single minute. A trade like this, catch one or two of these a week, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So understanding structure is key. Another thing, the example that I showed, this leads into the example that I showed last week, that trade idea. I was looking for potential buyers within this area. Reason being, what happened, um, as I showed you lot already, from us being in a bullish market, we're now bearish. So I'm just looking for the continuation to look for buys. But, and this is an example I really want to show you lot, yeah. I was looking for buys on this. If you took it when I sent it out, you would have hit break even. So if you managed to take partials, you took partials. Me personally, it just hit me break even, so I didn't win or lose. But what I was looking for is potential buys within this area. Very, very simple. Yeah. Now look at it like this. Same thing again. Change this now to red. Yeah. Stick with me on this one, family. We had this massive push to the upside. Now, what's price done? From when we had that massive push to the upside, did we go higher than this high here? Yes or no? Did we go higher than this price here? No. Only silver paying attention? Anyone else? Did we go higher than this Price here. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Yeah. What happened? We went up, we rallied down, we tried to go higher, but what did price actually do after that? We went lower. From this low, it went lower here, it then went lower here, it then went lower here. So on from looking at it on a half an hour, looking on an hour, we're bullish. If you look at it on the 15-minute, now we're looking to change structure from being bullish to now bearish only on a smaller time frame. And this is why time frames make so much sense. If that confused you, please do not worry. Please do not worry. It took a real long time to really, really understand it. And the structure is not going to be something I just go over once. It's really not. So do not worry. Yeah. But understanding time frames and understanding positioning of structure within them time frames, very, very key. Because if I was just looking at the daily, thinking, yeah, we're bullish and I'm only looking for sells, I wouldn't have been able to try look for a potential buy on a smaller time frame. I would have been sitting here for the whole week only looking for sells, making no money. That's why I'm an intraday trader, because I like to see what happens on the day so I can make money on that day. Yeah. But anyways, as I digress, yeah, on a 15-minute, what's happening? You had this rally up to the upside, but price is not going higher now. Yeah. What are we doing? We're going lower. We're going lower. Price is starting to what? Retrace. So, long story short, all I was looking for, family, is potential buys within this area. As you see, we continuously keep making lows into my area. Yeah. Now, this was a lesson learned. This was a buy limit. It wasn't a sell limit. It was a buy limit. But I want you lot to see what happens within this area. The same area I'm looking for buys. Yeah. What happens? If I play this out, what happens? Boom. Yeah. So I can't remember from the top of my head. It's in the chat, but my stop loss was somewhat here, whatever. But what I want you lot to pay attention to was, what are we doing in this area? Are we making new highs, or are we constantly making new lows, family? What are we doing? Are we making new highs, or are we making new lows? We're making new lows. Price is not ready yet to go higher. Yeah. So if you took the trade that I sent out, you'd be either hit break even or partials. Great. Cool. However, me now, I don't want to miss that trade because I know we are bullish. We're just trying to manipulate the market. We need to, people need to lose for me to win. That's how trading it goes. It's so sad, but it happens. Them days when you lost and it hit your stop loss, someone else hit TP. When yours hit TP and you are happy, someone else lost. Yeah. So if I play this out now, what happens? Fast forward a bit faster, but I don't want it to leave me yet. If I play this out, what happens? Do 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 do. Market still goes lower. Market still goes lower. But boom. All right, cool. Now, for me, I can see this with my eyes. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna go down to the 5-minute. I'm gonna go down to the 5-minute. Reason why I'm going down to the 5-minute, family, like I said, I'm an intraday trader. The same thing I've done on the 4, same thing I've done on the 1, same thing I've done on the half an hour, same thing I'm doing on the 15-minute is the same exact thing I'm gonna do on the 5-minute. Same exact thing. Yeah. So now we established we're still making newer lows. Yeah. Meaning we are still respecting our previous highs. We're still respecting it. We're still respecting it. Made a low. This was ultimately the last high that made this low. But either way, we're still respecting it. Yeah. You have this low here. You have this pullback here. You have this dive here. Pullback here. Go lower. Yeah. Now, this is what I see with my eyes. Yeah. I'm not gonna go too much into what this area price was here. I'm not gonna go too much into it. I'm really not, because today's all about structure. But within this area here, um, I don't have it. Price. I'm just gonna keep it price range. Within this area here, we are consolidating. Price is just moving what? Sideways. It's consolidating. But what happened here, family? What happened here? What's this? If you've been listening to what I've just said for the last 59 minutes, oh my days, that time already. Raw. What happened here? I need to wrap this up. God damn. Only two people are paying attention. Only two people. So them two people, when they start posting in the result chat, they're making money. I'll take a little bit of commission. Yeah. Only two people making money. Yes. New high. Anyone else? Anyone else? Only four people. Price went up. Yeah. That price going up was your first sign of a what? BOS. A break of structure. Yeah. Yes, I said earlier, ideally you want to be looking for another a new high being created. Yeah. I've been trading EU now for the last 5 years. I know how she moves. I know what she don't like. I know what she does like. I know how she feels on certain days, like bank holiday day tomorrow. I'm not expecting a lot of movement from her, but I'm expecting a little bit of pips. I've been, I have been with this woman, Euro USD for a long period of time. I know what she likes and I know what she don't like. I know when I see a massive influx of buyers and a BOS happening, I know that's a change of structure. I know that's a change of structure. I know she does not want to be where she is right now. She wants to pick up her handbag. She want to go home. She want to take up her makeup. She just wants to chill out. She don't want to be here no more. All right, cool. So I'm gonna respect her and I'm gonna listen to what she has to tell me. Now, from my seeing that, my first sign of the BOS, I'm not gonna go too much into the entry, but I'm gonna draw my fibs out and I want to show you lot how just understanding structure, understanding where you are, understanding what a breaker structure is, how you can position yourself for potential buy opportunities like that. We know from going from A to B to understanding C to then understanding the breaker structure. How did we already predict that she was going to go higher than this? So if I go to where Euro USD is now, she flew. Go to the 1 hour. So where I was doing all my example down here, look how high she went. That's 167 pips. Oh my gosh. Like, I know some of us trade gold. I know some of us trade BTC. I know some, but listen, if you are new, and I'm I'm gonna say this, and you can ask any traders out there. Yeah. If you are new, when it comes to taking independent trades, or you're trying to learn independently when it comes to trading, stick to currencies. And I'm going to tell you why. One, they're easier to read. There's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of wicks. There's not a lot of fast momentum out of nowhere. Two, it moves much slower. Sometimes you can be in gold 1 minute at 8:05, you're in profit. By 8:08, you're in holy for drawdown. By 8:10, you're back at entry. By 8:15, you're well in profit. By 8:18, back down drawdown again. There's too much emotion. So for newbies, when it comes to taking up trades, understanding structure, currencies. Which currencies do you recommend? So I first started off on how do I do this again? Just show me. How do I do this again? Wait, before I go back onto that thing, before I move on to that, does that make sense so far? The structure side of things, does that make sense so far? If it doesn't make sense, please say it don't make sense. You lot are lying. Amari. Okay. See, Amari, I hope you're not just saying no to say no. But if it don't make sense, bro, by all means, please answer your question. What don't make sense? What doesn't make sense? Oh, I was gonna sneeze. Oh, my sneeze just went. If the market is making new lows, why are you looking for buys? Oh, that's a question. Hey, if the market is making new lows, why am I looking for buys? All right, cool. That question, all right, cool. That question leads on to something else, but I'm just gonna do this, yeah. I'm just gonna do this. All right, no. I'm not even gonna do that because that goes into something else. All right, cool. I'm gonna ask you a question, Amari. If you was looking to buy, I don't know, if you was even females, you can use this for your example as well. But Amari, yeah, if you're looking to buy a pair of trainers, females, if you're looking to buy that new dress or that new handbag, man, if you're looking to buy that new car, let me ask you, are you gonna buy that new car when it's at its highest value? Females, are you gonna buy that Mac? This is the only makeup I know. The Mac makeup on its first sale, or you gonna try buy it on a discount? Oh man, then you see that car, but I might think, oh, you see that 3 Series. Let me go check that mechanic. Let me see if he's got a cheaper price. You gonna buy it on a discount, or you gonna buy it at its highest value? Discount. Yeah. So when it comes to looking at the market, yeah, and this is why a lot of people do lose as well. Whenever you see the market going down aggressively, one thing I got taught, I'm still trying to tap into my emotions on this side of things. But whenever you see the market diving down or going down aggressively, look for potential buys. I'm not saying just buy, but look for potential buys. Look for areas that the market could be going down to then reverse. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna record this bit. But the structure side of things, are we all good? So I can end the recording. Cool. All right, cool. Just the structure side of thing. I'm gonna end this recording so I can tap into the other thing.